You know, when we started playing in clubs together, you're bringing up a thought here that a lot of people don't think about. The ideal, like in a movie, is that you're always thinking about the arena stage, and that's the only thing that's on your mind as you're working as a musician. That greater idea is always there, looming consciously. Where I don't think it was that for us. It certainly wasn't for me. It went in very short little stages, like one day I'm going to be the king of Gazzarri's.
Right.
One day we'll be the top guys at the Starwood.
Hey, with us it started out with one day we went to practice piano. Right? From there it went to, okay, he started playing guitar, I started playing drums, then we swapped because he had better on drums than me, and it went on from there. But you're right, it was small steps. It wasn't this big dream that we had. It was basically the need to survive.
It was in...
Oh, but it was great fun.
Oh, yeah.
The beauty of it, man. You have your instrument, you set up somewhere, and you have this thing where you can make the people in the room dance and have a good time.
Doing what you like to do.
It's great, yeah.
Tone is one of the most important things about this band.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's one of the things that really separates this band from everybody else in our genre.
It's our voice.
How do you mean?
It's my voice, you know? A lot of it has to do with what's just the way I play, you know, that you can't remove it whether you like it or not. You know, like in the old club days, I remember you guys going, why can't you make it sound like the damn record? I'm going, sorry.
That was merely a financial consideration. That was a financial imperative
there you go again.
that we had to struggle with.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, in the club days, it was difficult to sound like other people. So I think it's inherently in all of us, not necessarily every musician, you know, but I think just like you, only sound like you. You know, some singers can sound like anybody.
I consciously try to sound like other people still
And you
to
can't.
this day.
And neither can I. And neither can Al.
And I laugh when nobody gets it, because to me it's just so obvious I'm imitating so-and-so.
But nobody else hears
You know, it's like, if you caught me, I go, it's an homage. You know, it's in tribute. But nobody ever caught me, because no matter what, they go, oh, that's very Dave. And I'm walking away going, no, man, that's Ziggy Stardust.
I mean,
what
I
are you
remember
talking?
when we played-
That's the guy in the Stones. You didn't get that. It's almost funny to me.
Dave, come on. I mean, when we used to play the clubs, we sounded pretty silly playing some of that stuff.
It sounded
Different, yeah.
It sounded like,
Well, like It's Your
us.
Thing sounded like Black Sabbath playing, you know.
Yep.
You know.
It was almost like a.
It didn't sound anything like a record.
Clearly, it didn't.
Yeah.
But that's one of the attractive things. We were representing a neighborhood, and it was adding just maybe a little bit of girl-friendliness to a heavy rock sound. We're a hard rock band from the 70s and 60s kind of a thing, you know. When we played the club songs like It's Your Thing and Get Down Tonight was another one there. It was kind of like a reality series game show challenge.
Yeah.
Like, let's take the song with the most brass and the most chicks in the background and the most rhythm section,
And
etc.
see how we would do it.
And see how a three-piece would do it. But you remember, we would always try to do the solo the same as the song the first time, then we'd do another verse, and then we'd do the Ed solo.
Yeah.
You recollect?
Oh, yeah.
And then you began to create within, whatever. We worked well. We worked a lot.
Yeah.
We did 45-minute sets a lot.
I think a lot of people enjoyed our take on things.
Oh, totally. Well, we also had that spirit,
Yeah.
If you watch a lot of the old dancers on from the movies in the 30s and the 40s, their spirit is, that's in a lot of what we do, a lot of that vibe. I think we're one of the bands that really we talk about having to make the bread, and we talk about our hard lessons in, you got to balance out the rent with the vision. But very few of our colleagues still enjoy playing.
Oh, yeah.
Do you feel that? Very, very few of the guys who've get past 10 years, it seems like a lot of hard work in there. You feel that?
No, it's...
If you enjoy playing, you're always going to improve. You might not get faster, you might not get louder, whatever the definition of better is, but you will become more refined.
Yeah.
And when you can do that, that is a challenge. You can continue to learn and make those. That's what keeps it interesting.
Well, you have to
because
enjoy doing it.
Not necessarily.
I
see a lot of folks out there.
Oh no, other
who are
people,
struggling
yeah.
through
But I
it.
mean, we still enjoy what we do. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it.
What would you do? What else would you do?
I don't know.
You've never done anything for a living but music.
That's kind of what keeps me enjoying doing it.
Very cool. When did you guys decide you were going to be a band and make money at it and go to the arenas?
it wasn't about the money. It was, I remember.
Support yourself. That's what you were going to do for a living, and you were going to make records and follow in the footsteps of who? Who'd you follow? For me, it started with the Beatles actively. When I saw the Beatles on Ed Sullivan, I
Right.
knew I was going to be in a rock band of some sort.
Dave Clark 5 for me.
Yeah.
At what point did we decide to do that? I think when we played those first gigs as the Broken Combs, and you see what kind of an effect you can have on people.
Who were the Broken Combs?
Oh, it was Ed and I and three other guys. So I was on saxophone.
We played at lunchtime at Hamilton Elementary School.
And we played at assembly.
Out in the squad.
Also that assembly and some other stuff that we played at.
Yeah.
But the thing was that I know it sounds kind of shallow, but it's addicting to play in front of people that at the same time had that exchange between an audience and a performer.
It's great. It's unpredictable.
And of course the girls.
It's a big part.
That's the first thing I remember. I was in 4th grade. We did that gig. I'm going, hey man, all of a sudden I got girlfriends.
Like
This is cool.
Napoleon Dynamite says, you got to have skills, man. You got to have skills. You ain't getting no girls. You pick what is. I'm clearly right there. I totally get that. For me, it was the Beatles, and I knew it was. To the point where I was in 2 different lip sync bands just with the other kids where we would learn the Beatle tunes.
Mm-hmm.
And then we would put on a show for the parents.
Right.
Then we put on a show at the school assembly, but we rehearsed it routinely. We went through a thing. One of the kids had an actual Beatles suit, like that. I didn't wear the Beatle wig, but, it was very, we took it very structurally.
We wore the turtlenecks, remember? Yeah.
That was the Dave Clark 5 look.
Yeah.
But again, it really boils down to if you enjoy what you're doing, then it wasn't so much an objective that we're trying to reach in terms of where are we going with this. It just happens sort of, and I understand that nothing really happens by itself. But
I always dug the prep. I always dug the rehearsal. I always dug the designing the stuff, and it's like a pack of dogs going, okay, where are we going? Where are we going? We even looked like each other at one point when we started touring on the road. Remember when we all had the same shoes and the same leather jackets? We looked like the same family.
Too many times. Yeah.
We all smoked the same cigarette. We used the exact same slang that was peculiar to ourselves. Do you follow?
We were on the same bus.
We had the same bus, the same everything.
Yeah, that still trips me out to this day. That all those years we were on one bus.
Yeah. Plus the security and the lighting guy.
Yeah.
Well, I was just
great.
describing to Dana here, one of our camera women, who's running the show here. I was flying back from New York. She says, "Do you usually fly first class?" And she says, let me tell you about before first class. Remember the bus in England?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Put the Halliburtons in the middle, and that was our bed.
And I'll start to describe. Feel free to chime in. If the aisle is the aisleway, there's 2 armrests here and 2 armrests where Ed is. And like climbing into a rocket module. You had to slide down sideways, put one leg over the armrest on top.
And one underneath.
And one, she didn't believe me when I was
this
telling
was an actual touring bus for tourists, not a tour band.
bunks.
I mean,
Just seats,
it had windows.
hard as a rock.
It had windows, it was a regular.
And you're doing a gig every day.
And you had to slide
Every
your
day.
legs underneath.
And we did 23 shows in 25 days. Touring.
I didn't even know England had that many cities.
Neither did I.
The only thing I remembered about England before I got there was Mark Twain's expression, 22 religions and one sauce. It is one sauce, HP, remember?
Right.
And this was before there was satellite, before there was internet, before this was late 70s.
Yeah.
And it was 4 channels of BBC television.
Yeah.
And rock and roll
That was
was
before CNN.
It was
Yeah.
1
CNN
hour of
ruined it
rock
all.
and roll. Remember, we'd go, this is the leading rock and roll show in the northern UK. And you go, show? Yeah, it's on Wednesdays from 4 to 5.
Here, let me ask you a question. Do you remember where we were when we found out our first album went gold?
Aberdeen, Scotland.
That's right.
And what happened? And what happened there? What happened there? After the gig.
I don't recollect.
Oh man, we were doing human pyramids and trashed the hotel. We took shoe polish and wrote our logo all over the walls and stuff. And the next morning, the cops came, and they searched.
I don't remember.
They escorted us out of the
They
country. Said,
escorted
"Don't come
us
back."
out of the country, but for what reason? Not because we wasted their hotel.
Why?
Because one of our crew stole a pillow. They searched every bus, and and all we're saying is, "Hey, come on! Somebody coughed up the damn pillow," and nobody coughed it
This
up. So they
sounds
escorted
very
us.
familiar.
They escorted
like
us
one,
to
like
the
Rudy
border.
or something.
Yeah.
Actually, it was Douglas Alexander.
Yeah,
He
the
was
sound guy. But they escorted us to the border and said, "Don't ever come back," and we never went back.
Very
That's the only time-
familiar. I remember the pillow.
Yeah.
Somebody had swiped the thing. Yes.
And we were all scared shitless because they thought they were going to nail us for the damage to the hotel. It was just a damn pillow.
I remember
I
this.
thought that was hilarious.
I remember we drank Glenmorangie, and I remember singing the lines over and over again. It was a tune wedgie. I couldn't get it out of my head. You take the high road, and I'll take the low road, and we'll drink the Glenmorangie. You take the high road, and I'll take the low. In volume, But I remember singing that all night as we marched around and whatever. Describe a gold Halliburton, because this is not something you ever see.
Well, it was a
In the
state-of-the-art
airport.
suitcase with a combination on it. And, it was like James Bond to us.
And they were all gold,
Yeah.
like a burnished, anodized gold aluminum or something
They
like
look
that.
like something a film crew walks around with, but they're all identical, and you can line them all up, and it looks like something has landed.
It reminded me of a large 007 attaché case.
Yes, and you see them, people put microscopes in them, but nowadays they're black, burnished powder black.
Ours were polished gold.
And we put,
And everyone had to.
yes, everybody, we dressed the same.
Yeah.
We had the same luggage, and it would be towers of that
Same
gold
leather
stuff.
jackets.
And you put all of your decals all over, everywhere that you dig, you put it all over the gold luggage. Nowadays, you
The only
would.
problem is one time, all it takes is one time of overstuffing the suitcase, and the thing would tweak. It would never close again.
Well, you'd have to carry an implement to pop it open. The first time, do you remember going platinum? I remember the manager at the time, Marshall, I won't say his last name, giving us platinum
Necklaces.
necklaces.
Yeah.
Remember?
I still have mine.
Do you?
Yeah.
The platinum necklace.
Yeah.
And with gold-like chain, rolled chain,
Mesh chain,
things.
yeah.
These are expensive items. I'm glad you have yours because we paid for them.
That's right. That much I remember, yeah.
We discovered he
Here you go,
charged them to
fellas.
us.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations. And
Right,
then we
right.
got the bill for him having
Yeah.
them made. How many managers have you guys had at this point? I've had 5.
It's
Minute account.
it's hard to keep track of them.
Yeah.
That's ultimately the problem with making music is you make music and the other people do the business, and that's just the way it is. And we leave that part alone until.
I remember doing the business at the Starwood, my Get a Raise pants. Remember the ones with all the pins in them and everything?
Yeah.
We
And
all
I
had
would
a
go
pair of
up
those.
and ask the guy for a raise. I'd try and look as poor as possible.
We all had a pair of those.
you guys be doing sound check, and I be going, no, you don't understand, 125 isn't getting it.
Here, Van, is a couple extra bucks for
We
you.
need crew guys now. We have to pay for crew guys now.